What up, y'all? Sorry. Good morning. Yeah. I know I haven't uploaded my most recent vlog since my Blackout Tuesday, but I'll be uploading them today. I don't really have too much to do today. I'm gonna be busy again starting tomorrow, but I haven't watched films in a while, so I wanted to take some time to watch some films. I'm planning on watching Just Mercy at some point since it's free. I'll put a link to that description below, since Warner Brothers is putting it out for free on Amazon Prime and another platform which I forgot. But they want to do it to help educate the people in terms of the racial injustice that's going on in our country before and is still relevant now. So I will be watching that eventually. Right now I'm watching the film Sorry to Bother You. I'll put the IMDb in the description below. Yeah, I wanted to watch it because there is a message of racial integrity in this film, and basically kind of talks about how a black male who's working like a call center type of job puts on a white voice, and how that helps with his job. So kind of wanted to watch that movie. I am planning on watching another film today, American History X, and yeah, it's one of my favorite films, and I wanted to watch it because it talks about how someone from the side of a white supremacist viewpoint comes to understand the viewpoints of those of people of color. And it's a very powerful film. And it's not an easy film to watch, but I wanted to rewatch it again because I haven't watched it since I was in high school. So yeah, all right, y'all. All right, I'm gonna eat and watch this movie. Talk to you guys later. Peace. Yo, what's good? I just finished watching Sorry to Bother You, and yo, it was a really good movie. It's a huge satire. This movie was created 2 years ago, right? And it was a huge satire, kind of on basically workers' rights is a huge part of it, but then also another part of it is what it's like, basically what it's like to find success and opportunity in America. And the big, if you haven't watched this movie, then feel free to skip over this section. But even if you haven't, if you don't care too much for spoilers, I think this movie has a really, really strong message, especially right now. I didn't really know too much going into this movie, right? But this movie is very, very true. I worked an insurance job which had a telemarketing aspect to it, and it is first of all, there's just so many relations to how this movie portrayed that type of workplace, and then the type of workplace that I lived in. It's very true representation. Even though it's a satire, it's taken a little bit to the extremes. It's very real. The next thing I want to say about it is this movie talks a lot about in this day and age, what people need to do to find that next level of success and opportunity. And part of it, which is very sad and very true, and something that I've seen, is that in order to find that next level of success, where you're not just that base level worker, you need to in our country, you need to suppress your culture. You need to suppress who you are and your identity, and you need to give in to the popular practices in our country. You need to suppress all of your culture in order to find that next level of success. And it's a very true mirror to our society. you know, and it's very, very relevant right now. I mean, they even go into protest in this film, you know. It's very, very real. Like, there's this whole aspect of this film where this main character reaches that higher level of success, right? He reaches that next entity of success, and as he's in that group of people, in that 1%, you know, of people who are successful, right? It just, oh man, they show how little they really think of you and your culture, you know, and how they don't really see you, you know. You're still just another thing that's getting them money, you know. And they kind of expect you to do exactly what they say, and they take this to example where it's like the main character in this film is black, right? And they're at this party, right? It's a bunch of like rich white people, and then like one other like black person, right? And like the main character is like the top seller, you know. He's the icon of the company right now. He's making the huge sales, and instead of asking to talk about like his accomplishments and things like that, right, they ask him for crazy stories of what it's like to grow up in the ghetto, you know. And then he didn't have any crazy stories because he grew up differently. And then they ask him, they're like, well, you can't just sit here and say nothing. You got to give us something. And he was like, well, I don't know what you want to hear. And the basically the main owner of like the company, or like the big, you know, corporate conglomerate was just like, I'm sure you can rap. You look like you can rap. And he's like saying, no, I don't know how to rap, you know. And he's like, no, I'm sure you know how to rap. Like, you look like you know how to rap. And we all know what that alludes to. You know, the person is black, and this is a white person telling him like, oh, I think you can rap. You look like you can rap, you know. And he's saying he doesn't know how to rap. Then they give him a mic and put him on a stage, you know. And they, oh man, this was a hard scene to watch because it's so true. It is so true. And they put him on stage, and he didn't know how to rap. He was really bad at rapping. He was bombing it really hard, you know. And like the boss was just like looking at him with disgust, you know. But he didn't want to lose his job because of this stereotype that they believed him to have, you know. And like, even though throughout everything else they expected him to act like a white person, when they wanted him to act stereotypically black, right, he didn't live up to that expectation, and they were disgusted at him, you know. And so in order for him to not lose his job, what he did was like, he exploited his race and his culture, you know, just so he wouldn't lose his job, which is so true. You know, this is a very true underlying thing about our country, you know. And this film speaks miles on that. And I highly recommend you to watch Sorry to Bother You. This is something that I saw from like the protests, and it's very true, and how I really do think of like, you know, how I've seen a lot of things here in America through different types of environments, whether it's where I grew up, to where I went to college, to where I'm at now, you know. This is something I saw, and it's America loves black culture, but doesn't respect black people. And that is very true. And it's a problem. It is a huge problem. We want to exploit their culture. We want to exploit, you know, the cultures of minorities, you know. But then when we exploit it, when our country exploits it, they don't expect them to fight back. They don't expect them to say anything about it. They don't expect them to speak up about how they've been disrespected, you know. They're just told to deal with it, and that's not right. So I highly recommend you to watch Sorry to Bother You, because it is an amazing film that discusses that issue. The issue, basically, of suppressing your culture in order to find success. Yeah, it's not right. It's not right. We shouldn't have to become less of who we are. You know, we shouldn't have to deny and exploit parts of ourselves just to find success. So, highly recommend this film. Sorry to bother you. Really good. Alright, yeah. There's also some, like, you know, it's a satire film. Okay, it's a satire film, you know, comedy. So they take things to the extremes. But if you look at the base issues of what they're talking about, it's very, very real. So don't take it so literally. Because if you take it very literally, you're gonna miss the point. So highly recommend that film. Cool. All right. I got some emails to send out. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that. All right, y'all. Talk to you guys later. Peace. What up, y'all? I saw this post on Instagram of from the American Film Institute, and they like, since coronavirus started, they've been highlighting films every day for people to watch. And the film that was highlighted today was Selma, and it actually brought back a very important memory to me, back from college. In college, my school they have like a little theater or a film club, and they would show films, whether they were like recent or in the past. And one of the films that was shown at my university was Selma. Yeah, that's good, guys. Sorry. I got cut off by a phone call. But so in college, I watched the movie Selma with a friend of mine who is from China. We went to watch it. Amazing movie, beautiful film. And after the movie finished, my friend was talking to me about it, and he asked me, he said, that's this movie. He was like, this movie's great, but that's crazy. This is a work of fiction, right? And I told him, no, this is American history. This is real American history, and it's still relevant today. And I told him that. And he was so shocked and surprised that this was real, that this actually happened in our country, because they don't learn about this in other countries. They don't learn about what happens in our country. They don't learn about like the types of injustices that are done to certain people in our country. So he was, not only was he shocked and amazed by it, but he was appreciative as well of the fact that he did watch the movie and he became more informed. And that's something that we need to do. We need to make sure that the people around us are informed and educated of not only our history, but of what's happening right now and how deep it goes. This is not an issue that is this is not a new issue. This is an issue that's been going on throughout our history and is still being dealt with. We have made a lot of progress, yes, but it's still alive and rampant, and we need to make efforts to reduce the presence of it. One of the reasons why this conversation really stuck out to me and was very important to me was because in college I studied biomedical engineering, and I didn't study film or anything like that. I was interested in becoming an actor, but I didn't. But I was too focused on becoming an engineer. And that conversation really sticks out to me because from that film, not only did it impact my friend emotionally, and got him to react to the film and appreciate it, but it also informed him and it educated him of the reality of things in certain places. And that's something that film can do, and creativity can do, and art can do. It can inform people in a little bit more of a light-hearted way of real situations and real issues that are going on in a country, you know, or in a small society, in a person's life, you know. It doesn't have to be such a big movement, but art highlights problems that people go through, you know, and it just gives it a little bit of a easier pill to swallow format for people to digest the problem and really see it for what it is. And that's why I love film. That's why I love acting. That's why I love art. So like I said before, I challenge creatives to go ahead and make thought-provoking projects, whether it's music, whether it's painting, whether it's film, whether it's acting. Create stuff that are thought-provoking. It doesn't have to be about main social issues, but it could be about personal issues. It could be about family issues. It could be about relationship issues. It could be about mental issues. So many different types of things that you can highlight and provoke thought on and present a voice for. But right now, it is a time for social injustices to be made present and to be dealt with. And I challenge any creatives currently to create thought-provoking projects that will help the community be more informed of the situations that are going on right now and what they can do, and help provoke thought on how they can stop it. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this. Watch Selma. Highly recommend Selma. I'll put a link in the description below of the IMDb. Yeah. One other note that I did want to say was that I for my casting call for Jody, I don't know if I talked about this before, but I used the wrong terminology and I said non-binary gender when I described the role. I want to apologize if I offended anybody by that, because I used the wrong terminology. And not only did I not mean to isolate the role, but I also didn't mean to take the role away from certain people, from a certain group of people. So I appreciate the people who messaged me with, whether it was because of their interest or whether it was because of their respect for the role, for what the role asked for. I want to thank those people for informing me and educating me on my misuse of terminology, and I will make sure to fix that from now on. I will make sure to educate myself and use the proper terminology in the future when I'm casting, and describing things and describing roles and using it and when I talk about words in my conversation. The terminology that I meant to use for this role was that Jody is a gender-blind role, which means that males can audition for it, females can audition for it, and anybody from the LGBTQ spectrum can audition for it. This role is accepting of everybody, and it's not about the gender, but it's about the relationship between Jody and Tina, and the emotion behind that. So like I said, I just want to apologize for my misuse of terminology, and I want to thank the people for their patience and their information and education for me on the proper terminology. So cool. All right, I just sent out all the Zoom invitations for all the people that have applied for it right now, for that role of Jody. So I sent out the Zoom invitations for the auditions, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So all right, I'm gonna start defrosting my meat and then cook some dinner. All right, thank you guys. Bye. Cool. Tomorrow is the first day of auditions. I'm excited to host some auditions and see what people are gonna do with the writing that I have. This is first, even like with my actors, first time I'm gonna see her doing the lines and stuff. So I'm very nervous for all of this, but I'm excited to do a project like this. Yeah. Let's see, today, basically worked on stuff for my short films for the most part, and then I watched the movie Sorry to Bother You. Really good movie, highly recommend. I also played Valorant for the first time today. Enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Valorant's a new game that came out, and yeah, it's fun.
there is a lot of matches though, for like a lot of matches before you win the set or something like that, or a lot of rounds, I guess. So it does take a little bit of time, but it's fun. It's fun. I think every single time I was on a team, we won. Yeah. All 3 of the games I played, my team won, and I got a fair amount of kills too, so pretty good. Played Warzone too with JV and my old roommate Nick. So yeah. Oh man, I'm tired. Alright, so cool. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Good night. Peace.